What is going on, guys? My name is AK, back again with another YouTube video, and in today's video we're taking a look at the spawns on Crossroads Hardpoint. So I'll be going hill by hill, explaining where people spawn on either side of the map and whether that's dependent on who's in control of the hill. Crossroads works a bit differently for a few of the hills, but yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. So if you like this video, be sure to check out my playlist in the description below. It's got sniper spots, spawns, bomb spots. It's got everything that you need to get a lot better at competitive Call of Duty. So if that's something you think you might be interested in, check the link in the description. With that said and done, let's jump straight into it. So starting off with P1, there's really only sort of two main spawns. So the first one is all the way across the backside of the spawn here. The exact spawn point will be sort of dependent on a whole load of factors in game, but the general spawn point is all the way across the back of the spawn here. And then on the other side, you've got sort of the equivalent on this side too, as well as a few sort of more alternative spawns. One is just in front of the rock here, just by the close out of the bridge room, and then one sort of towards the top of the cliff, but this only really sort of comes up towards the end of the P1 and on the rotation to P2. Now this is pretty much the only spawns for P1, and unlike some of the hills, the spawns aren't actually dependent on who's in control of the hill. And really, if you want to flip the spawns to the blue side, which you do for P2, really the one way to do it is send a player around ice and try and flank around the back and flip the spawns for your team. But yeah, if you just because you're in control of the hill doesn't really affect where you're spawning. Moving on to P2, again, there's only really a few spawns. If you're in control of the hill, the majority of your spawn is right towards the back here. There are also a few spawns behind the containers here. So pretty much all of your spawns are actually in that corner of the map. And then if you're not in control of the hill when you're attacking and you're trying to break, your main spawns are actually out the back here, just in this back spawn area here. And then towards the end, on the rotation to P3, you get quite a few spawns sort of on P4 and just in this back of the sort of rivery bit. I'm not really sure what it is, but yeah, in the back there as well. So these are pretty much the spawns for P2, and yeah, as I said, they're the ones at the top is where it starts to flip for P3. So these are pretty much the spawns for P2. It's quite simple Crossroads. There aren't actually too many alternative spawn points, but then again, the map's quite small. Moving on to P3. Now P3 is one that I want to stress. Being in control of the hill does not affect the spawns. What affects the spawns is who's in control of the back rock here. This is the most important thing, and on Ps 3 and 4, that is all you're going to have to care about. Get on that back rock, get control of the back rock, and you'll get the good spawns. So if you're in control of the back rock, your main spawns will actually be in the just in the back of the rock, as well as just towards a bit more over P4 if they're very far pushed back in their spawn. If you're not in control of the rock, there's actually quite a few spawns. So there's one sort of towards the front of the cliff here, and also on the truck. So there's quite a few over here. Again, just the usual far back spawn like there is here. There's also on the crates. There's some spawns here. And lastly, there's a spawn actually in the top of the bridge room here. So quite a lot of spawns, as you know, on the red side, and very hard to break. P3 is quite easy to hold just for how easy it is and how close they spawn on the back rock. So really, I know this is a spawns video, but just as a bit of advice, don't flood the hill. You're going to want to try and break, get around the back. Now, there is also a clip I've seen on Twitter of someone that jumps on here and then actually runs around out of bounds and manages to get through the back. So if you can find that, yeah, give that a try. That's quite cool. So moving on to P4, if you're in control of the back rock, which usually means you're in control of the hill, but not always, but if you're in control of the back rock, your main spawns are, again, on the back rock. And then if you're in control of the rock and the hill, you do sort of push up a little bit further up here sometimes. This is why P4 is so easy to hold. The spawns are so close, and unless you can get a 4-man dead or actually flip the spawns for yourself on the back rock, it's going to be very hard to break. Now the spawn points are pretty similar for P3. You've got on the back truck there and sort of the back of P1 side, you've got the front of the cliff, again the back spawn, and also a bit on the crates as well. There isn't the spawn on the top of the bridge, or certainly from the few games that I watched, that didn't come up. I will just quickly add, these are the main spawn points that I got from watching a few games back in theatre. This is probably not an exhaustive list. I'm sure there are other spawns, but these are the main ones. So when locking down a hill and sort of expecting where the enemy are going to come, this should probably do you quite well. But as I said at the start, if you want to check out my spawn guides for all of the other maps, I think I've done all but Checkmate at the moment, but depending on how long after upload you're watching this, that'll probably be there in my playlist down in the description, so go check that out. But thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.